I do want to start this pod off with a question for both y'all. BOFUM, both of them. Questions surrounding, we've talked a lot about Cody Rhodes in the last few weeks. We've talked about Gunther. We've talked about previously Swerve. But we never talked about, like, who you guys were most invested in from a title reign perspective. So, like, right now in all of wrestling, whose title reign are you most invested in right now?
That's a great question. What reign am I most interested in?
Because, of course, that could be completely different than your favorite wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, one may have nothing to do with the other.
I'm trying to use tactics here to buy time. Wow. We start 163 like this.
Yep, come on now.
E, you have one?
Cody by Guys Rhodes, baby. You think I done been a fan of this man for 25 years to not be excited about his title reign? We did this year. I'm invested. I'm all in, baby.
Man. Wow. Oh, shoot. Let's go with, and I'm just picking up.
You like Bron. I got you, Bron.
The IC title.
Right, I know
Bron
you.
Baker.
No, I listen to you. See, unlike other people on this show, I listen to y'all when y'all talk.
Yeah, thanks.
Who were those other people you may be talking about?
I don't name names.
Okay.
But I will.
Well, you naming names today.
I will today.
You naming names today, baby.
I will today.
Yeah, you done tiptoeing around what you've been wanting to say for weeks and weeks and weeks now. We getting it out of you. So then E has Cody Rhodes. Rhodesia, you have Bron. I'm going to go with Roxanne in NXT. Yeah, typically her title matches for me is, okay, I got to check it out. Even if I don't care much about what maybe going on the show. Promos I'm invested in just to see her growth. So that's number one. And then after that, it's kind of like everybody else is kind of on the same playing field, I think, a little bit. Maybe Bron, maybe number two, but he's got a really, like, his reign is new, brand new. So I can't say I'm invested that much in his title reign. So yeah, I got Roxanne. Y'all let us know who y'all got. Put it in the comments. Send it to us on either X or YouTube, and we'll bring it up on next podcast. I got a couple of comments I want to bring up from last podcast from some of our listeners, some of our freaks out there. So let's have a good time, man. Let's talk some freaking wrestling. I think Rhodesia already said this is episode 163, and we are 3 the hard way. I am your host, Matt.
3 the hard way.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Joined by my 2 co-hosts, beautiful people, Rhodesia, Eshaun. What else before we get started? Outside of this, the normal, regular thumbs up, comment, interact. You guys know that deal. Appreciate you guys. I guess we can start with Monday Night Raw. I don't have much from Raw, but I do. Maybe we should start with which arguably was the biggest thing that came out of Raw. And the one thing we didn't talk about really at all on our last podcast, and that was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. It felt like we just kind of whizzed right through it.
We did.
Because I wanted to big up that match more than I did. But we're past that now. One of the questions I had for you both on Monday's pod was, before Raw, what's the next step in this storyline? Because Punk had came out and said, I'm done with Drew. I'm on to Gunther. I think even the crowd, from their response, knew that wasn't going to happen. He cut a hell of a baby face, all is right with the world promo. Super happy. I'm coming for the championship and all that. And I think we all kind of knew, like, Drew's not letting that happen. Drew beat the hell out of that man. Again. Stretcher job. Loved it. Bracelet broken, putting in his mouth. Loved it. If you've listened to the TFW podcast, you kind of know where this was heading. Bad Blood, October 5th, down in Atlanta, GA. But what you guys think of that segment on Raw? And was that enough heat to get you super ready to see them in a Hell in a Cell match here in a few weeks?
That was a good, okay promo from Punk. Okay, I'll get that out the way.
Which means it was tremendous.
Actually, I'm taking it back now.
If you said that.
It was not that good. I could tell he was out there just ad-libbing. I would say, because you pretty much hit the nail on all of the big things that happened, but when Drew first swiped Punk's legs and he hit his back on that announce table, I was just like, oh my God, like shoot, like if they actually didn't really like each other in real life, I probably would have like got up and probably hit him for real. That one was pretty tough. Like I was like,
did you have Carlito vibes when you saw him hit his back on
straight Carlito vibes. But Carlito, in a way, was funny because he popped himself, right? Well, with this one, Drew took him out. I was like, ooh, that was probably one of the most, to me, what I would feel most painful moves I've seen that wasn't supposed to be that painful. So I was like, yikes. But overall, I thought it was good. Is it going to get me to where I need to get to for Hell in a Cell or whatever you're calling it at Bad Blood? Maybe. I guess on paper, yes, because he finally broke the bracelet, right? There's nothing else you could do at this point. You've done did everything else outside of going to that man's house, taking the dog, kissing his wife or something like that. What else can you do but to break the necklace after he robbed him back and got his necklace back or his bracelet back? So yes, but I'm just, again, not being such a huge Punk girl. But yes, I'm excited to see Drew.
What a world we live in when we got women who don't like men because people have been crapping on them backstage, spreading lies about them throughout the company, accusing them of getting people fired when they didn't, going to business for themselves on a promo on live TV and being told, hey, this is what we're going to do, and they do something else. Then they overreact because they've been dogged around for a year now. And we still mad at this man. I'm actually very hyped for CM Punk. And I hope he wins the world title from Gunther at WrestleMania. That's how far I want to go for CM Punk. I want him to overcome all adversity from years of being dogged out in AEW, saying he was a cancer, coming to embrace this NXT universe and this youth. You know what I'm saying? You got to love somebody who embraces the youth and wants to teach them and wants to, I feel like I want to do Whitney, man. I need to put Whitney Houston. We are the future.
Crack?
No, we're not doing that.
Oh.
We talking about good.
You gotta
we
show
talk
me
about good. We talking about
receipts.
good Whitney. I believe the children are the future.
No, man, we good.
Let them lead the way. You know what I'm saying? How can you not love CM Punk for what he's doing for the kids? Big Daddy all about the kids. And I think this was a great promo, great segment. And I think it was needed because we were wondering how are we going to get to Hell in a Cell, right? Because I wasn't believing speculation. I wanted to watch the speculation. I didn't want to believe. I wanted to see it, right? Because this thing has to be some type of a blood feud. These dudes are right now at the real thing called on site. Like right on site. Anytime they see each other, they dropping and they going at it, right? So at some point, look, y'all gotta stop fighting. Like, right, y'all gotta stop fighting. We gotta move on to the next thing. So maybe Hell in a Cell, maybe come up with some stipulation like, look, the winner of this, that's it, right? Maybe they do something to where the winner, you know what I'm saying? It's like a losers leaves the show type thing.
I thought that.
Where, like, look, all right, this can't, like, y'all gonna keep beefing. Whoever loses this one, y'all getting shipped off to another show. Because it got to be something like that. Because you think about it, all right, like, what if at Hell in a Cell, one of them gets beat down so bad to where they can't continue for a couple months? What's to stop that dude from coming back? And, now we get another match, right? We can't have 25 Drew and CM Punk matches over the next year. So maybe Hell in a Cell, some kind of stipulation where, loser leaves town. That might add some more intriguement into the show. But yeah, Punk, I'm down for you, baby. Let's get you a title.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Didn't Eshaun start the show talking about he listens to me?
Hold on, Rodejay. Go ahead. Because, I got the tweet that I want to read on the show. But go ahead.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but I guess maybe not all the way here yet. But there's only one reason why I don't like Punk. And everything, all those bullet points that you had of all the reasons why I don't like Punk, I have never once said that's the reason why I don't like Punk. There was just one. And it happened 2 years ago today. Right? I think it was today. I think 2 years ago.
2-year anniversary today of Brawl Out. We are going to talk about.
Only reason why I don't have great fandom for
what that man do at Brawl Out?
His unprofessional behavior. Flat out.
And
hey, look, as I said, the bullet point would lead up to that. The man got dogged out for a whole year.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Listen,
so I could be a complete ass at my job, even though they've been sabotaging me this whole dang time. But the moment I flip out and I go crazy, I'm still gonna get reprimanded. Yeah, now maybe I was pushed.
And he got fired.
Right.
So you should be over it.
No.
If Tony Khan feared for his life, then little Rhodesia should be okay. The great work that CM Punk is doing.
Let me tell you, Rhodesia come after me on this show for the most random things. She tried to argue with me about Hulk Hogan of all people. Right? She tried to engage into a heated debate over Hulk Hogan and his dumbass moveset. So you mean tell me if I came at you for a whole entire year and nobody dealt with it, you won't take an opportunity to come back at me? I don't believe that.
Yeah, but I'll come at you a whole different kind of way. I'll be methodical and I'll be precision with it. Big word, Big Sean at. I'll be precision with that.
Hey,
Well,
in a lot of ways,
that
was methodical, right? Because
Yeah,
he got his voice out.
He
He
tried.
put everybody on blast, right?
They couldn't even manage a Walmart, he said, or a Target, one of the two. But what I wanted to bring up there was, you act like you probably didn't see it. E. I know you saw it. You just didn't respond to it. There was a nice lady who tweeted 4 days ago, fuck everyone that said CM Punk is washed. And I tagged you, E. I said, she's talking to you. Because as much as you have just given Punk his flowers, we could roll the receipts and roll the tapes of the last few episodes all the way through a few months ago, where you have said CM Punk needs to be on a part-time schedule because his body's breaking down. That man's one bump away from retirement. His promos ain't what they used to be no more, and he ain't got it like he used to. And now my man get the dog shit beat out of him on a Monday Night Raw, and you feel great for him and you are bigging him up. I guess that's the point of what a babyface should be. Mm-hmm. But did we forget, E? You have been trashing this man and his body type and his work and his mic skill for months, sir.
I think these are exaggerations. I think you're getting me mixed up for when you go after poor Kota Ibushi, who had almost a career-ending injury. This man can't ride a bike without you saying something about the man.
Why do you gotta bring Kota in here?
I think you mixing up my feelings for Punk with Punk. Hey, I said Punk needs to be on a part-time schedule. Why not? Roman Reigns is like 35 years old on a part-time schedule. Why can't Punk get one?
But that wasn't the same energy that you was talking about.
Yeah, not at all.
It was exact same.
You were saying he needs to be on a part-time, not that he should be.
He's not a promo no more. I do remember those words.
Sure I said his promos ain't had the same bite. Okay, he's a little bit older, and also I'm an older man. Hey, look, I gotta stretch before I run nowadays. When you get an older guy, you gotta do things differently. You gotta slow down a little bit. That's not being washed. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. He needs to slow down. Need to protect that man because he is an injury away from being injured again. So yeah, it's all true. But he ain't Kota Ibushi.
Man, he just getting
he had Kota. He had Kota locked and loaded. He even wanted to talk about that man for months.
I love you.
Hey, Yogi, okay. I want y'all to make the TFW pod a sponsor. I am drinking your positive energy tea.
Oh no,
and
we
I have
them to
positive
be our sponsor.
Energy. Yeah, I want them to sponsor our show.
Yeah, sponsor us.
Yeah, we don't want to sponsor Yogi. We want them to
we ain't
sponsor
sponsoring
us.
them. They gonna sponsor us. So back to Punk and Drew. Couple things. Yes, I would love for Pierce to just say, look, we got to settle this, and y'all got one last time. We're going to do it in Hell in a Cell, our most dangerous match, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, one of you got to go to SmackDown. The loser leaves and goes to SmackDown. I think that would be great because now that gives Cody something to do before Rock returns. If they wanted to try to go that quick with Drew and Cody, maybe not. Maybe you don't go back to back. He's on Raw.
I know where he's at. I'm talking about where's he at in his recovery.
Still hurting.
Okay.
Yeah, still hurting. So
ain't no
news. I would love that.
Ain't no news.
Yes, I would love that. But I thought the segment was great. I told you guys going into the strap match, I'm like, for me, this is just biding time till we get to Bad Blood because Bad Blood felt like it was gonna be the blow off. And they sold it for me, not knowing it's officially Hell in a Cell, but we know their blow off is going to happen in October. 2 thumbs up. I thought it was great. Thought it was really, really good. I guess the next biggest thing from Raw was, it wasn't a ton. Where would you guys put the excitement meter on Bron and Jey Uso's face to face?
I didn't see it.
Oh, I loved it. I felt like when I was watching the segment, I heard Booker T in my head. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I got to be honest with y'all. When I was listening to Jey Uso and the energy he brought, I got to say, I think he's one of my favorite acts in wrestling right now. Not just on Raw, but just in general, man. I love his energy. I love like the coordination with the glasses and the shirt, man. I think he got it down right now. And I love the interaction with him and Bron. Bron came out with a nice conversation. And I like that Jay took off them Yeet glasses and he got serious for a minute.
Yep.
He's like, man, look, I'm going to get mommy. I'm going to get your title. and I'm gonna beat your ass too, bro. And like right before he said I'm gonna beat your ass, like in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna beat your ass too. As he's talking about, I'm gonna beat your ass too.
Yep.
Then he said it, I'm gonna beat your ass too. Yes, right. You were gonna beat that ass too, Brian. Like, right. So really, really hyped for that matchup. Really excited for it. But I'm like, damn, man. Like, look, Jay is one of the top merch sellers in that company. Like the crowd is obviously super behind this guy, right? He has like everything you will want from a character standpoint. Like, man, they gotta do something with this man, man. It can't be Brian running over this dude again, right? It can't be that. But at the same time, you kind of don't want to hijack Brian. Like, it's an interesting matchup that I'm really excited for because it can go either way. But I feel like Jay needs to go out on top, man, because he is on running on all cylinders right now.
Before you say, Matt, what you got to say, the question you pose, add on to that back end. Is the IC championship, though, enough for Jay?
Yes. And I thought Sami, completely separate from the Jay story, did an awesome job of resetting the table for the Intercontinental Championship. When he went in the ring with Gunther, he reset it and said, look, I'm from the old school. Bret Hart, The Rock, he named off some of the better IC champs in history. And he said, it used to be you conquer the IC belt, you go to the World Championship. And he's like, that's what I'm here to do. And I thought that was great because forever, when we were kids, that's what it was. Typically, you had a major Intercontinental Championship feud, right? And they were right before they got to being legit main eventers. And whoever lost that feud, you knew they were up for a title shot. And now they're about to be, pushed up to that next level. And they went away from that.
When do you think they went away from that? When do you think that was?
Shit, man. Like when it became when they started treating the Intercontinental Championship not as like the workman's title, but the secondary title, a significant secondary title. So I'm talking like the Miz run. I'm talking like, and Dolph tried to make it more, but you can't make more if you're not booked to make more. When Dolph had it, that was like that. It was when you could just tell.
I think it's before that though, right?
I would.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell. Like
it was before that.
My memory would have been, and I don't even know if I knew him in his run, but Rocky. I don't think I was watching when he had the IC championship, but I knew that he had just had it and he started moving up. So could that actually been the last of the?
That might have been. Right?
That's one of the ones that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, because Stone Cold had it at some point, right? And he moved on. Rock, even Triple H. So I think maybe that attitude era might have been the last of these are the next guys up.
Well, and that was the feud. It was Rock Triple H. And it was a ladder match at SummerSlam in New York City. Rock lost that match. Triple H won it. And of course, it was this big crowning moment for Triple H because he had finally conquered The Rock. He is Intercontinental Champion. But it's Rock's time now to elevate to World Championship status, which he did right after that. So that was probably my favorite thing from Raw, was just listening to Sami talk about that. My third favorite thing from Raw, outside of Liv Morgan coming out there in those pants, was Gunther just completely no-selling him and just like, no, and walked away. Thought that was tremendous. And I thought Sami's reasoning was like, hey, look, I beat you for that IC title. I'm up next. So it goes back to just they pay attention to their stories and such. What's your guys' excitement level for Sami and Gunther when we get it?
I'm completely there for it, so I'm going to say a 10. As far as for Raw, though, what I did remember watching probably was my number one thing of the show was those bars that Sonya Deville spit.
Yo.
She said, hold on. There's not a man in this building who could take us home, and there's not a woman who can take us, period. That was like Scott Steiner language right there. Not Scott Steiner math, but that's like Scott Steiner language. Like, what do you mean by that exactly?
You know what she means.
Hey, when she said it, I'm like, well, no, because like, like y'all not.
But then no woman can take us? Like, what?
So nobody's going to beat them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And But I don't. Pure Fusion Collective. First and last time you ever hear me say that name. I'm never saying it on this podcast.
Hey, which one would you say more
PCF.
first?
No.
His
What is
name,
it?
our partner's name, or the
PFC.
PFC?
Pure Fusion Collective. I'll chat that all day. I ain't calling that man by that name. No, I don't think many guys want to take you home. So that's what kind of threw me off. Like, they don't come out in sexy gear. Like, we know they are. They're badass fighters that will put hands on you. So, like, her saying that, I was kind of like, okay. But I will say this, though. I'd much rather Sonya Deville get on the mic. And even if she is saying quotes like that, than have her in a tag match. I'd rather her just be the mouthpiece. We big Sonya up a little bit ago because of her style, her look,
Her swagger.
Yeah, but she is not back to where she needs to be in the ring yet.
It's just like Britt Baker.
She thinks she's worse than Britt.
Damn, you think she's worse than Britt?
Yeah, I do. I do. And some of it's probably just timing. She's been out for a long time.
So I've never thought that she was bad in the ring. I don't think she's great. I think her matches are fine. Right? I'll say that all the time. What I mean by it's a match, like, right? And and especially when you're a character driven, like she's more personality, charisma, right? Like that's what kind of gets her TV time. You think about it from a woman perspective. There's probably other women on the roster that are probably better in the ring than she does, but they always find something for her to do.
Right.
Right. And that's more important, I think, that you have the type of presence, character, and ability for them to always say, hey, what do we got for Sonya? Like, right, to always have a plan. Because there's a lot of women on that roster. And actually, I want to kind of get into the women on the roster real quick, because I feel like we're going to not talk about it. Because we had the tag titles, right, on display. And Bianca came out looking great. And Jay looks like a star. Jay looks like a star, right? And we got Isla, Dawn, and we got Alba Fire in another match, right? Which I'm not super excited for. I thought we might get the Kabuki, not the Kabuki Warriors. What's their
Damage
tag
Control
name? This Damage Control, right? They don't have a tag.
I was about to say Kabuki.
Yeah.
Kabuki's Asuka's not here. Asuka's not here.
That's with Asuka, right? Yeah. And shouts out to her. I heard she just got a new contract. I'm pretty sure she probably got some type of raise, and that's all great. But when I think about that women's division, outside of like Rhea, right, who's just a monster, man, and she looked great last night too. Goddammit, Liv, who's phenomenal, like, right, Bianca and Jade, who are phenomenal. There's probably a few others, but I just don't think that they're hitting with that women's division. Cause outside of like those big five, I feel like it's a lot of women on that roster that when they have matches in different segments, that I just kind of don't care. Because as we just talked about, a lot of the matches are just fine. Like, right? And then the characters are just kind of there or non-existent. So if you don't really have like a Sonya Deville's personality and promo ability, I can't really get invested in your matches, especially if the personality and character isn't there. Now, I think somebody who has the potential. I think the world of Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega,
baby. Zebra.
See, y'all trying to bring back to my nightmares of my, you know what I'm saying, as a kid, I couldn't read. You know, y'all bringing it back.
Don't do that.
Y'all did that.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I did that. I had nightmares that night. But you know, she's somebody I think they can kind of like they can have somebody for her too. Like, I don't necessarily think it always needs to be in the ring, but they should definitely have something for her, especially on the mic from a character standpoint. But do you guys what do you guys feel about the overall women's division? Because like for me, I think it's just heavy at the top, and then it really falls flat after the like maybe the 5 or 6 women in the division.
You were damn near accurate of what you just said there, but I know about a year ago we had this conversation of like grading Triple H, and we were saying of what was one of his biggest opportunities, and it was always just building the women's division. Where in the past, like in NXT, he did a phenomenal job in highlighting women and broadcasting them to the point where we got like our first pay-per-view with a woman in it, main eventing, like those kind of things. We had said that there was an opportunity. Now, from where we're coming from, yes, he's building and growing on there. There's still a lot of room left, but at least we're moving in the right direction. Can I argue, are we moving fast enough? Maybe, but we're still getting so much other good stuff that I'm able kind of again to turn a blind eye to it. But compared to what we were, we are moving in the right they are moving in the right direction. But yeah, there's still opportunity for damn sure.
The simple one sentence question would be Utopia would be Triple H booking the men, Shawn Michaels booking the women, all on one show. Be damn near a perfect show.
Yeah.
For the most part. Because it's not from a lack of talent. It's just when you watch NXT, it is to me clear as day. Their strength is the women's division right now. And it's not because all of them can just put on 5-star matches anytime they want and they can go out there and cut, 10-minute promos off the cuff. It's where they're placed. It's their placement, it's how they're being utilized. Because there's a ton of talent in WWE. They're just not utilized the same way as I would say like the men's division is consistently. Because to your point, if you're looking at like 5 or 6 women that you named, that's typically enough to carry a division. If you have that many women at the top that's over, that's popular, that people are paying money to see, it's just a lot of the other pieces like Tiffany Stratton. Her time is going to come. Charlotte's getting ready to come back. We already know what she can do.
And Naya, I didn't talk about her.
Yeah, so they have the pieces. I just think when you get to comparing them, because we have something to compare to, so closely connected like NXT, and it's like, man, that women's division is running circles around main roster. So yeah, so I feel it a little bit. I don't think that it's, when we talked about a year ago, I think I marked him like C- or like a D+ for like his handling of the women's division. Right now, I would probably give him a B-, C+, maybe, if I was grading him.
I'm there because like they're the talent up top is very heavy, right? I didn't even talk about Tiffy and Naya, but you guys mentioned NXT, right? And there was strong women's division. I agree. I feel like the way NXT women's division has been stronger than the men's for quite some time. If you compare the two, especially right now, like when you look at the NXT roster right now, like a lot of the guys up top, I feel like the women like far outweigh the men as far as like significance.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about the NXT women, like, because there's a lot of them I like. So like, here's the thing. I mean, I like beautiful women, and there's a plethora of them on that show, right? But they're also new, right? A lot of them are still kind of green, and I understand that they're new and that they're green. So I'm willing to kind of give them a little leeway, right? And I want to watch them grow, and I want to watch them get better, like, right? There's going to come a certain time to when, okay, I done seen what I've seen, and I need those characters to progress and be something else. So I feel like a lot of those women, like a Lyra Valkyrie, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another pretty girl, could go in the ring, but now she's on kind of the Raw roster, and I've seen her for a couple years kind of in doing the same thing. Like, for me, she hasn't grown yet. So when I think of a girl like Lola Vice, who I think is going to do phenomenal, I think she has it. I think she'll be great when she moves up. But if she doesn't get better, I haven't seen her for a couple years now, right? How many times? Like, she's a cute girl, beautiful woman, right? After a while, you need to be more than that. And I think that a lot of these girls that go from NXT to WWE, after a while, like, all right, I've seen you enough. I need you to be a little bit more than a beautiful girl who with mic and ring skills. And I think that's what some of the problem with the bottom of the Raw roster is. I don't think a lot of those women have progressed outside of where they were in NXT. So when we talk about like how strong the women's division is, for me as a viewer, it's a lot on the look side, right? Because there's a couple of them I'm still waiting to kind of progress from a character and an in-ring standpoint. What do you guys think?
Hey, who are you talking to, E?
What's that?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, I got it. When we get to the NXT topic, we're go heavy on this one. I want you guys' opinion and feedback on this one.
Hey, we're here already. Let's go.
I would say
for sure. I mean, I think that's even with the guys too. But it's how you get in what's happening once you're fed to the main roster. Like I said, it'd be different if the women's division in the main roster had been clicking on all cylinders, and then they come in like a Lyra Valkyrie, and welcome back. She's been gone for a few weeks, but them graduating up, and then still not performing and developing more. That'd be a different situation if the environment was ripe for that. But right now, because WWE is still trying to figure out their women's division and getting them built to be important, I see your point there. Down in NXT, that's where they're supposed to learn that kind of stuff. I mean, they're supposed to learn how to develop and grow, get on in front of the mic, being able to wing it. I feel once they are there and you have your Charlottes, you have your Baileys, you have your veterans, and they're in the ring with them, I do think with the way that the direction that main roster is going for women, I think that you will start seeing their development more. But if you look at like even on the guy side, we got Dragunov who came up. That's the only person I can really think of right now, which he came up. He's the same character as what he was in NXT, but I think a lot of that is because they were bleeding for a while. Like they have this transition time where they're going back and forth. I do think though in the future, your Lola Vices, there are other people will come up and they would develop more because they're kind of capped. Now, what was unique for me on Roxanne, I thought she had hit a kind of a max of where she was going to be. That's why I was like beating that drum. She needs to go up to the main roster. I thought Roxanne should have done that because I thought she had her limit. But now that in this new reign that she's gotten back, I don't know what it is about her. I feel her growth in that, and I didn't think we were going to get there. But you know, which is like that's amazing. Maybe it wasn't quite time for her to come up because again, I love what she's doing right now, the work that she's doing, and I think it will now develop even more when she finally come up. One misspeak I had, Bron. Bron came up and he's killing it as a guy. But again, it's still the same type of character. Like I said, I just think in time they will develop more. But like you said, if not, you're going to come to this main roster and I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, you still a baddie. But all right, I need a little bit more than that now.
Roxanne was able to tap into her heel side. I mean, she was a babyface. So that kind of ran its course and everything's beautiful and everything's great. Just want to be friends with everybody. And now to be able to see another side, it's kind of the same thing. Same play they ran with Bron a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hey, here you're in the tag team. Hey, come go out. Let's do a couple comedy segments. You know, like of course she's ready right now to go onto the main roster. But she's doing some great work. Jada Parker is another one that I want to continue to big up because I remember I said when I first saw her, you could just tell she's super green, but she had already gotten down the in between. And that is the hardest stuff to get down in wrestling. Once you can figure out your character and you figure out the in-between stuff, what you're doing in between moves, you're a star. Nothing can stop you. And you can talk. And in her case, and the way she looks, she's out of here. And just watching her in the feud with Roxanne, watching that match on No Mercy, and then she worked again on this past Tuesday, she's got all of the in-between stuff. She's got more of the in-between stuff now than Tiffany did at her time at this point. Mm. And that's saying a lot for her. Of course, she's got to continue to grow. But I'm really, really high on Jada. I think she can be something really special. But like overall, though, to your point, it's at the end of the day, it's story. Because if we were to go down the women's roster, there's more women you would be a fan of and say, yep, I'm fans of them, than not. It's just that they haven't grabbed us yet from a story perspective, which hopefully it's coming. Like I said, Charlotte, and we know Charlotte and Nia, that's going to be a thing. It's going to transition to Charlotte and Tiffany. That's going to be a big deal. We'll see what they got next for Jade and Bianca. Whatever that should be a big deal. Becky's still out there.
Right.
Whenever she comes back, that's going to be a big deal. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, sir, it's time, man. It's time.
Let me make my recorder out.
NXT had a PLE, I think 2 months ago. No, it was a promo segment. After this said person that Eshaun is going to finally discuss and talk about bombed on the mic, and that's fine. Your job is to go out there and figure it out. Mm-hmm. But holy hell, was that a rough promo. He ain't want to say much. A couple weeks later, he comes on his platform, and instead of calling out this one person, he makes a blanket statement. You probably don't even know I realized it because I let it go. I ain't say shit when you did it. He makes a blanket statement and just like, man, there's some girls down at NXT that some of them promo segments, man, like this would be really, really rough. It was this one set person. Eshaun said in the text thread a couple days ago, brought this person up again. I was like, no, all right, brother, it's time. It's time. I think he's gonna finally discuss what he's been discussing. Hey, I went out on a limb in January, actually, about someone who's pretty close to this person, and I said, man, this said person right now is a little rough. I don't know if they have it as much as we thought they did. And they are doing some tremendous work now. So that person has grown. Eshaun, who would you like to discuss? Who would you like to talk about on NXT right now?
Oh, guys. So this is hard for me because I like to embrace and uplift, young talent, especially Black young talent, because we have a lot thrown against us. And I want us to do well. I want everyone to do well, but especially young Black talent. And this individual has been trying for a really long time to showcase something, and it's just not hitting it for me, man. And I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it
anymore. I watched that PLE, and I was like, okay, we gotta talk about this. But I need Wesley to get better on the mic. Yes. Wesley, man.
This man went to a whole nother gender.
What? I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I got Wesley, man. Look, he's trying, y'all. He had a big baby face run, and I'm like, man, this guy, me, is just unlikable on the microphone. It's just something about his cadence, the way he speaks. He seems a little whiny. He seems a little like entitled in a lot of different ways. Like, or he's quitting every other week. Like, right? He turns heel. I'm like, okay, this might work because he has, to me, a very annoying personality. He can tap into that as a heel. He comes out in the PLE, dressing still in that weird babyface outfit. I don't know what he's doing with them pants, but it ain't it. The color scheme don't really hit. They're kind of weird looking. And I'm like, okay, as a heel, he needs to turn to a different person. Not the same dude he's been just now, doing the same whining, but now looking for booze. He needs to turn to a different character. So for me, I think there's something he can tap into. Like, right, he can tap into something with that condescending tone he has, that entitlement that he has, and really turn it up and be a good character. But I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping that we can see it soon, guys. What do y'all think about Wesley?
I'm speechless. Mark that down.
You like Wesley, huh? You really?
No, I'm just speechless because I thought you was about to take charge. You was about to say, you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna be honest. Rhodesia came on here a few times, even though it probably killed her. I have anxiety attacks. Well, not real anxiety attacks, but my blood pressure and heart rate super high because I have to go out here and talk bad about somebody, and I don't want to misinterpret it because I would never be able to be a wrestler a day in my life. And I thought you was about to come out here and speak your mind.
I didn't want to give it to Wes that bad, man. I didn't want to give it to Wes. I can't do it. I can't do Wes that bad.
We're still doing this. Okay, Wesley. I actually love the guy. I think when he was a face, he was very passionate. He had a couple of huge promos where you just fell in love with him as a face. They're trying to tell this story. They told this story kind of with Zachary Wentz. I'm okay with this with him because he is supposed to be annoying. He's supposed to be irritating. I'm not supposed to like him. Now, as far as his clothing, you got a good point. Like, I need to be able to see exactly your heel look. But I am okay right now for the next several weeks to see where this goes because he is like a bad guy now. And I'm okay with that because this is what we were just talking about in the last topic. How are we going to get these people to develop more into different layers and different parts of their character? So I'm fine with it.
Got anything else you would like to share?
Matt's and I are probably going to respond. Huh?
You got anything else you would like to share with the listeners and fans of TFW Podcast?
He's on mute.
Yeah, my man's on mute. He's
really muted up. He's saying it now,
actually.
You know what? I pressed the button that time. Sometimes I got to double tap it. But I would say, hey, I'm like, with Wesley, I didn't want to touch Wes for a long time. I want to support our brothers, man. But I had to talk about him.
All right, well, if you don't want to shit on one person of color, let's shit on definitely a person of color, Odyssey Jones.
Oh. Yeah.
Sounds like he officially got fired on Tuesday, I believe. Maybe Monday. I'm not sure the official date, but he's gone from WWE. He already was in hot water with a lot of fans because I think he made a homophobic social media tweet or something to that effect. Yeah, so... It was something he shouldn't have done.
You sure it wasn't that other guy that got fired?
Which one? No, I know Odyssey. This is Odyssey. This is before he got drafted and that whole thing. There was something he did online he shouldn't have done.
No, there was another guy that did that though. It was another big guy. It wasn't. I don't think it was Odyssey. It was the other guy, but he ended up getting fired. It was the guy who's the super diva guy.
Super diva.
Yeah, big black guy. He's super diva.
LGBT. I thought he was LGBTQ though.
He was, yeah. But he said something. I forget what he said, but it was something about. It was really a weird topic.
Insensitive. Well, yeah. I know Odyssey did something that was super insensitive, and he got a lot of shit for it from the fan base. That's why even when he got drafted to Raw and he wasn't being used, people were going crazy. Like, yo, this guy is still employed. He's still getting caught up, et cetera, et cetera. That gets kind of passed. Now, granted, real life ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing on a wrestling TV show, but my man gets put into a program with the New Day. And I'm upset because I guess there's some type of domestic violence thing that he is being looked into. I don't think he was officially charged. So everything I'm going to say, of course, is allegedly if he did it. Right. But evidently there was enough for WWE to terminate. I guess they said the file or whatever it was did not look good. Keep your damn hands to yourself for one. Anybody that puts hands on anybody I got an issue with, but especially if you're talking domestic, we didn't get into the Nikki Bella situation. I'm glad she's okay. It looks like she's filing for divorce or she's looking to file from divorce from her husband. Something had been going on there. I guess people around them said they weren't surprised at them getting into a fight. So everybody just keep your damn hands to yourself. But with Odyssey Jones, from a just TV wrestling perspective, you messed up the best opportunity we had getting the New Day to break up. Karrion Kross, the legend, set you up perfectly. All you had to do was take the ball from the 3-yard line to the end zone. And you fumbled on the 1-yard line because you are a piece of shit person, evidently. Allegedly. New Day show up, don't say a damn thing about Karrion Kross, ain't got no damn issues anymore. All because Fat Boy can't keep his temper in order.
So you telling me we have to go back again? So do we just move on now to just LWO? Since I thought New Day was about to break up. Should I go to Plan B now and just get
put them together? Broke up? LWO and New Day.
But you can't.
Had them run 12-man tag matches every damn week on house shows.
Nope. They're not Latinos.
I'm okay. I'm okay with. Hey, look, this is God's work, man. Look, like I'm not gonna speak on like Jones because again, we don't know the full story. I don't condone on domestic violence at all, any kind of way. Hey, I do believe that, hey, man, if a dude run up on me, I'll give him a 2-piece dinner if he deserve it. But, with domestic violence and violence against women, I'm not down for that at all. But we don't know, so I'm not going to talk about it. But as far as the actual New Day, this is God. You know what? I don't want these strong black men at odds fighting on TV. I don't want them on TV doing that. I want these men out here loving and spreading positivity. That's what we want.
Karrion, come back. We need you.
No. Hey, Karrion, how about you roll over and get that and cut that hair, man? I don't know what you do. He got this whole hair thing going or something, man. Like, cut that, brother.
I think he looks good with the hair, but he is my favorite being bald, though. But I mean, I like his hair, but I like him better bald.
So that was like a double damn whammy.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that.
It's a New Day. Yes, it is.
I did think Joe Tessitore, that's my new legend now. Just so y'all know, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT in this household.
I think he said something too on the level of Sonya Deville, though. I forgot what he said, though. Did he say something?
I'm sure he did. Had a really strong night. Really strong night. And I tweeted and I said, and it was only like 20 minutes into the show, but I think he is by far the best outside hire from announcing since Mauro Ranallo.
I thought the same thing.
Easily to me. And I'm a Joe guy. Joe has called numerous major sports events, particularly for me. My connection with Joe is through boxing. But there's two things you can hear. One, you can hear somebody who knows how to do what he's doing. And you can tell he's a fan. And right. And for me, it was kind of like he was going out of his way to let us know without saying I'm a fan. I'm a fan. For some of the stuff he brought up. He brought up some stuff about WrestleMania. He brought up some things that like those aren't in your notes. You know it because you watch, because you are in this. Him and Jackie Red had an awesome like 2.5 minute video right after Raw. They were still yeeting in the ring. And Jackie just went up to him and just kind of said like, hey, you had a great night. And you could just see the excitement on him, which I thought was awesome. Yeah. So Joe Tessitore, great job, man. First week. He's only going to get better. And I'm excited to see when he does really start hitting his groove, how good he's going to be.
And you like who they have him paired with right now?
Yeah, because it's temporary. Because the word is supposed to be it's going to be Cole and Pat calling Raw when it goes to Netflix in January, and then Joe, and maybe I don't know if it's gonna be Graves. I don't know if they'll go to a 3-man booth at that point.
I thought
that's
Joe.
Part I didn't see.
I thought it was Joe staying on Raw, and then Cole was going to SmackDown with Graves.
Is it Joe and McAfee?
Maybe because like I don't know what's going on with McAfee. He's gonna be gone for so long. They might move him around depending on when he comes back. But I think Joe is going to be the lead guy on Raw going into Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was the other way. Regardless, though, hands off. Very nice first day. I really, really enjoyed his work. We brought it. Y'all got anything else on Raw before we bring up the 2-year anniversary of Brawl Out?
We just had a Twitter question. So I can act like you now. So we had a Twitter question. Our friend at the show, Yusuf, asked us something around Cody
What the hell
Rhodes.
Yusuf say?
So I guess from inside the ropes, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, it's a legit question.
Oh, it's a legit
Yusuf
question.
usually, he be on some bull sometimes.
No,
you know what I'm saying? As Deion Sanders say, some bull jive.
No, not my guy. Not my guy.
There's 3 question marks. There's 3 question marks.
Unless it's Seth Rollins, Yusuf usually ain't never serious.
But
he only serious about Seth.
Seth was brought up in this question too, though. So listen,
what I tell you?
So the article comes out that at some point Cody's doing an interview with Inside the Ropes, and it's stated Cody Rhodes states that if people knew the real plan of WrestleMania 40, they would be even more angry. So that was the post. And Yusuf asked, hey, at That's FNW, what could have been worse? Was Rock going to eliminate him from the Rumble? Or the real title his dad wanted him to win was facing Logan Paul or Gunther? We know Seth Punk was locked in. What if Punk wasn't hurt? So I guess maybe he's asking, what could have Cody been talking about that if we really knew the plans that Dwayne Johnson had on that whiteboard of how this car gonna look, make us more angry? How about this? Wrong answers only.
Oh, I got a perfect wrong answer.
Go ahead, you go first.
No, I'll let E go because Cody's this guy, so he always gets first crack.
That's right. You said that.
Played it.
Well, I mean, the wrong answer is actually probably what actually happened. I think the kids.
Which
Triple H almost fucked up 2 years in a row. His dirty ass trying to take Cody off the goddamn show. We almost didn't get to finish the goddamn story. He wanted the motherfucker off. The whole fucking pay-per-view. His ass wanted him off the fucking show. He was gonna put him in an injury angle to take his ass off the goddamn show. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe, maybe Rhonda was right. Maybe Vince McMahon, dumbass, still was writing some of this bullshit. Because you can't tell me in what right mind you fucking got that you're going to take the hottest fucking babyface in the company. The hottest fucking babyface in the company. You don't put him on fucking WrestleMania. You get him an injury angle and take him off that motherfucker. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck was he smoking?
Let him know.
What was he sniffing? I'm fucking mad just thinking about that shit. Wow.
It was for the shareholders, man.
He came in to save WrestleMania. Man, wrestling's hot again because of The Rock.
Yeah.
If you don't know, E gave you that whisper promo because his kids is probably running around and he don't want his kids hearing him cuss. But I appreciate that promo.
And I can't follow that, so.
So the actual storyline was going to be he was going to get jumped and he wasn't even going to be to East Point even involved at WrestleMania. That he was it's like a backstage attack.
So
That
wait,
was the real. That was the real thing they had on the table.
Wow.
Now, Rhodesia, you said
Wrong answers only.
wrong answer only.
Yeah.
Before I get to my wrong answer, because I got the perfect wrong answer. When was this interview?
I don't know.
Was this interview like 4 months ago?
I couldn't even tell you. The way that this is reported, where I'm seeing, there's no timestamp. There's no even bringing us to the actual where the article, what interview it came from. Are you enlightened by it? Do you know?
If I know, I don't.
Okay.
This is the first time I've heard anything about this interview. But if this interview was done in the last 30 days, Cody, get over it. You won the title already, dude. We don't care anymore. We're past that. The doc came out. We watched the doc. It's over. Move on to your subpar title reign until The Rock comes back to save it again. The Rock knew what he was doing. There you go.
I ain't gonna let you. I ain't gonna stand for this. I ain't gonna stand for this. Okay.
But here you go.
Just like the AEW questions. Stop asking them questions if you don't want to hear the answer. He a real dude.
I do wonder what the question was.
He a
Yeah,
real
I guess.
N-word.
Yeah.
He a real
Who is?
N-word. Cody, he a real ninja. He a real ninja.
Ninja.
They asked him a question. That man gonna give you an honest answer. So, hey, if y'all don't want him to talk about it, stop asking questions about it. Just like AEW in the contract and the shenanigans that happened over there. How AEW done pooped away two of their biggest stars, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. That's why one company up and the other company down.
So Ethan Page.
If you don't want real talk, don't ask real questions. God damn it.
So
Really
this is what the storyline would have been. You said wrong answers only.
Yeah.
Cody wins the Rumble.
Okay. Which he did.
Yep. Cody comes out.
Points at Roman.
Not on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Not on Friday Night SmackDown. Cody shows up to NXT.
Okay.
Goes right in the middle of the ring.
Which he did show up in NXT. But go ahead.
He brings that dusty statue with him. And he said, I know my dad never won the big one. He held it up in Madison Square Garden. But you know what is more important to my dad than the World Heavyweight Championship? Then he starts crying. Then he cracks. His voice cracks. Then he says, the NXT World Championship. And the crowd just starts chanting, Dusty, Dusty, Dusty. Then he goes, I will be at TakeOver the night before WrestleMania to kick off WrestleMania weekend the right way. And that's winning the NXT title for my dad and for all of you. And it's Dusty, Dusty, Cody, Cody. And then we're off, and then he wins the NXT title the day before night one of WrestleMania.
I like that.
You know what? Hey, you know what? It was done on purpose, but that was a very shit storyline. But you know what? It was fucking better than where fucking Paul Victor.
Exactly. Yes. That would have been better than seeing him laid out.
Hey.
Are you kidding me?
I thought you was about to go with it. And I was like, oh, shoot, wait. I think those are tags. I thought you was about to say he's about to enter the Dusty Classic. And I'm like, wait. I think that's
by himself, 2-on-1 against everybody.
Hey, but you know what? While we're staying on Cody real quick, Dustin Rhodes' contract is coming up. Supposedly, this was reported a while ago. I know you guys were saying, I don't want to see that. I want to see them Rhodes boys together. Actually, I love to see them Rhodes boys together against the Bloodline. Dustin Rhodes recently said the Rhodes ain't the only Bloodline. Dude, I want to see it. We need to see it one more again, god dang it.
We don't have to be a contract. No, I can see that. No, well, I can see.
Get
I don't want
run.
him. I'm not gonna tell any. I'm not gonna put this out there that I don't want anybody making money. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But having limited contracts, I don't know if the risk to reward of hiring Dustin would be worth it. But I would absolutely.
What's the risk? What would be the risk?
I would money. You spending money.
They got money. They make.
You don't need them. You don't need them on this.
You seen these ticket sales they trying to do for everybody? They got the money, honey.
Hello, you
they
remember
got
the pre-deposit before the pre-deposit? Yes, I know these ticket prices.
Y'all gonna be paying for it. Y'all about to pay $10,000 a seat. Correct? Y'all about to drop $30,000.
You about to be right next to us too. You about to be right next to us too.
Hey, I'll be at home.
Via
I'll be at
FaceTime.
home texting, waiting for y'all to text me
Yep.
back because in big ass arenas, the cell signals is bad, right? So I'm gonna text you at
Actually, in
7:05.
Vegas,
I'm
the
gonna get the
signal's
reply
really good.
back probably at 8:00, right? So that's what I'm be at home in the comfy of my own seat.
Actually,
Watching
real
the show.
talk.
Cheering
Remember,
y'all
hold
on.
on. Now I'm pissed. Remember Vegas SummerSlam when their whole situation went down and I couldn't buy any more beer?
Yes.
That was like,
I remember talking about it.
oh,
I know you was pissed.
figure y'all life out, okay? So
Mm.
And that was
Allegiant
after Becky
Stadium,
came back and beat Bianca in like 36 seconds.
I
It
was
was a
ready to
double
go
whammy
home.
for
I
Rhodesia.
was ready to go home. And then
I was like, damn,
they said you
I
can
knew
have
you
some
was
trail nuts from us for free. Fuck your damn trail nuts. I want me a Bud Light.
They offer you trail mix?
Yeah, because
And
at
water.
this point, and
And water, yeah, because they couldn't take any payments.
No payment. So they were giving out food because they knew that we've been there for 8 hours already. So we already were.
And so I was pissed before that because I'm the presentation guy. So there was no pyro at this. I'm like, how the hell do you have a stadium show with no pyro? We're right by the entrance, so they're supposed to have like the smoke machine goes down before the show starts, and you see them scrambling trying to figure out. And they got to a point 13 minutes of the show. They were like, "Fuck it, y'all ain't even getting smoked." And we got nothing. We got Bianca doing the job to. No, we did get some stuff. That show wasn't good though. I remember I was like, I'm done with stadium shows outside of WrestleMania after that.
Yeah.
And they got me back. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's move on to just real quick. 2-year anniversary of Brawl Out. We were together. We had just left the Now Arena after watching a great AEW pay-per-view. We were all hungry. We was like, hey, let's go to IHOP. I put up on my phone the scrum, and we are sitting there in disbelief. We've been down that road. No need to go down what that night was and what happened. But I do have a question. Eliminate Brawl Out. Say it never happened. And CM Punk is still under contract to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let's assume in this scenario, they were able to get on the same page. They being Punk, the Bucks, Hangman, AEW, Tony Khan, and everything is good. Everything is good backstage. How does AEW look different now, 2 years later, with Harmony backstage with CM Punk compared to what we see now?
At the very least, a rampage that you care about. So that'd be my answer there.
Collision.
A rampage you care. A collision. I'm sorry. A collision that you care about.
I agree. Like the collision will probably look totally different. But you know what? I think if it wasn't one thing, it would have been something else with CM Punk. I feel like the way the company is ran was against the way CM Punk thinks a show should be ran or how wrestling should be. I think like the longer he was there, I think the like Tony Khan and CM Punk, I think their philosophies on wrestling is too different. And I don't think, and it's not that I don't think, I know that CM Punk is the type of person just to kind of say, oh, it's your show, you do your thing, right? I feel like at some point, CM Punk will try to bite his tongue so much, but he will kind of keep on like, hey, this is done wrong. It should be done this way, right? And you hear that Tony Khan like, yo, no, I think it should be done this way. I feel like if it wasn't that, it would have been something else. But to Rhodesia's point, I think definitely Collision would have been a little bit better. And I think that probably ultimately, maybe CM Punk probably would have won out on certain things. And we might have seen some positive changes that would have been better for the actual show. Actually, I remember that Brawl Out. I remember, man, that was like I think that was the first in-person heated debate Matt and I ever got onto. Because I was really off on Punk that night. I kind of changed my tune after the fact. I was like, man, like Punk went too far. This is ridiculous. I can't believe he did it. They need to censor this man. And for whatever reason, Matt was like, nah, you wrong. Like, and we was going back and forth debating this topic for at least about a good hour. Rhodesia never chimed in. Like, everybody else was quiet.
We were in the waiting room waiting to. I said waiting room like we were in the hospital.
No, I was pissed.
We were in the waiting spot,
unprofessional. And I said, "Fuck Punk."
Waiting to get our table.
Maybe you were so pissed that you were so.
Yeah, I was so
quiet.
pissed. I was like,
but
"Fuck Punk for that."
It's funny, Rhodesia, because I was the reason why I was asked to get more irritated. Cause I'm like, man, why are you defending these people, man? Like, stop defending this. This was some bull. Like right now, cooler heads prevail. I'm like, all right, I didn't know the full story. I still agree with Rhodesia. Like, there was definitely a better way he should have went about the whole thing. But at the end of the day, I'm used to living in a corporate environment. I know there's a certain way you have to do things, a certain way you have to behave, and you can't cuss out your boss.
Choke
and
somebody.
you can't do those things, right? Like, I live in a corporate environment. From a person who's never been in that situation, you don't have that kind of filter. But definitely, I think the show, because you know what, from when Punk was on the show and he was involved, would you guys agree that things seemed to be a little better?
Hell yeah.
Like,
think
right?
about his storylines, man. Think about his storyline with MJF, which is maybe going to go down as AEW's best storyline in history. Think about his storylines with Darby Allin. Think about his storyline with Moxley. Think about what we missed out on because of this, with no story with him and Bryan, with no story with him and Kenny, with no story with him and Swerve, with no story with him, and there's one other one that's like a common sense. Like, it would have been a slam dunk. I can't remember right now, but we missed out. And at least his stuff was always, all right, we know we're in for, my only knock on Punk's AEW run on camera was I thought he wrestled too much on TV. There were times where they had him wrestling, and I get it. The whole point of this is to wrestle.
Moriarty and,
Yeah, it's like, I know, like, Punk's doing it to try to elevate the young guys. They're not elevating. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like tonight, we're taping this during Dynamite. They got my girl Nyla Rose again out there. Like, use her. How about you build her up?
Who's she jobbing to?
I think Mariah, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. It's just like, yo, man. Every time she goes out there, she kills it. So
they literally feed her to whoever is like they trying to push up. It's crazy, because how many times, like, I don't even care about that match, because I know she's going to lose. Like, what difference make? But you know what? I think not a better question, but I wonder if Cody Rhodes, because recently, I don't know if it was the same interview that Yusuf and Rhodesia were talking about. He talked about the AEW contract. He said it was a good contract for him and Brandy. And look, they got to find something for Brandy Rhodes, man.
No, they don't, man.
They need to find
She's
something for
being a mom.
She is great. She is great.
Brandy
hey, look,
on TV.
She would have been still on my TV in AEW, right? But Cody said that her and Brandy, they had great offers on the table. They chose to leave for whatever reason, right? What if he would have accepted that offer? I think from a locker room perspective, some of the things that have come out, I don't think they would have came out in the same way. I think he was another locker room leader for them. And maybe Cody would have been a nice buffer between Tony Khan and CM Punk. Like, right? So maybe if Cody still was there, maybe Punk would still be there. And that would change the total shift of the wrestling world, right? Because we wouldn't have had to finish your story. We wouldn't have had a lot of great moments that really catapult in WWE into where they are right now.
Have we lost anybody from WWE remotely close to the likes of like Cody and Punk? Has there any in the last 4 years outside of Moxley? Yeah,
Mercedes Moné and Edge.
But Mercedes quit. Like, she was gone off TV for like a long time from WWE to by the time she got to AEW, because she went over to NJPW.
It was like 2 years almost, right?
Yeah, so like, okay. I'm
just remember she almost signed back with that report came out. She almost signed with them.
She said that
for 39. Was it 39?
She said that. She said when they were 40. What was it? 39? One of the WrestleManias. 40, yeah. Was she at the Super Bowl or something? She said, and she was like, WWE's running next year, SummerSlam or WrestleMania here. I need to be here. She said she was about to sign a WWE, which we know she'll be back in WWE. But I'm just trying to think. So there is nobody, right? Outside of, I guess, Edge. Edge will be the most realistic comparison to Punk and Cody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Outside of Punk's history with WWE, I would think probably Punk and Edge might have been more comparable, because Edge, by comparison, how many more miles they have in their tank is probably about the same versus like Cody. Cody still has a lot of years to go, where I feel like Edge is on for sure the back end of his career or Adam Copeland. So probably those two would have canceled each other out. Of course, Punk was the biggest thing because of what happened to him in WWE. But as far as the talent themselves, not really anybody. I don't feel. I don't think anybody. If Becky would have not resigned, or if Becky would have went over to AEW, I'd probably say that would be it. That would be the big one.
Did she resign?
Actually, I don't know. I thought they just said she'll be back.
Yeah,
they said on air that
they said they were like extremely confident she's not going anywhere. So I don't know if she's re-signed yet to WWE, but from what I heard, there was no worries about her going anywhere else. And you could kind of even tell that how they kind of wrote her off was like, oh, she'll be back. It was more like she'll be back. Mm-hmm. Before we get to All Out, and we don't even know all the matches, but the matches they do, I'm looking forward to it. I do want to bring up a couple of listener comments from last pod. We were just talking about the whole AEW WWE thing. Our guy Joe Davis said, we were talking about Jade Cargill on the last show, kind of her progress report. He said, I think Jade can be a main event sports entertainer, but I don't think she can mentally handle that type of push yet. But we know Bianca has handled her main event push very well. Jade's only memorable match to me was her last match in AEW with Stat, which was a very good match. She really hasn't had any real memorable matches in WWE yet for me because I'm still waiting on it.
That's fair.
I think that's fair. Yep. I think that's fair. When we were talking about the end of the show, Swerve's contract, and then your boy Dave saying WWE said they had an issue with Swerve's contract. Who that kid, 16, said, I 100% believe the rumor that came out about WWE and Swerve's new contract. We're talking about a company that has history of trying to pay their performers as little as possible. Plus, we heard this same thing when Will Okada and Mercedes were paid. Also, let's not forget the info that came out about the NXT UK people getting paid basically a McDonald's salary. So I still don't think somebody told Dave, like, hey, that contract's too much, especially because WWE was interested in re-signing Swerve. So I just don't think that was the conversation. But I could be wrong.
He could have took liberties on what he thought he heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the end of the day, if you can get paid, please get paid, because again, the machine is making so much money. So much money. So
I gotta ask you guys a question though. Do you think that Okada is worth $5 million a year for pretty close to that? Do you think that I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna put that. Just say Okada.
I don't think Okada is getting $5 million a year, but I don't think Okada is worth how they're using him. He's probably correct this moment right now, not worth the amount of money they're paying him. I think part of that amount of money they paid him was so he wouldn't go to WWE. And it's not any fault of Okada. They got to use him in a different spot.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't think he's getting paid $5 million, but he's probably getting paid a couple million. Let's say he's getting a nice wage to work in AEW. And I would probably say that he's probably like in their top paid guys on that show.
I would think
but way they're using them, they're not using them like a top guy, to be quiet. They gave him that damn Continental, and that's just the Continental title to me is just as bad as the damn FTW championship at this point. Like, right? Like they just like they got these guys and they're not using them right. The only person like I think that really they're using and paying like a top guy besides MJF is Swerve. Like he earned every bit of his money.
Ospreay, you don't think Ospreay?
I think that so actually with WWE, so let's say I think the rumor is he's getting paid a couple million. Like right now, based on what Ospreay had accomplished and where he was, I don't know if I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna give this guy millions of dollars to come perform. Now, high six figures, right, with an upside and merch or whatever. I don't know if I'll give him a like, you know, I don't. Like, the rumor is he's getting paid like $4 million or something like that. I don't know if I would do that, but he's definitely doing it. Like right now, he's definitely the way he's producing on that show. He's definitely worth every penny that they're paying him. I feel like out of everyone they signed, besides Swerve, before Swerve got his re-up, I think that Will probably is worth every penny that they spent on him.
I'm gonna go and use a sports analogy here. I'm gonna sound like I know a lot. hopefully what I'm about to say is accurate. But I feel like AEW is paying like baseball contracts. Hey, I'm going to pay you based off of your past performance, and it's not indicative of what's going to happen in the future. But you gave your Okada that because Okada was the man. He's just not the man in AEW. Ospreay, Swerve. I mean, those people should be getting paid that kind of money. $5 million, of course, by comparison, that's probably a huge difference. And somebody who's just on an entry level pay in NXT, whatever they're paying, of course, that's a big difference. Is massive. But again, not until just like every year, this is in football and basketball. This is the new highest paid person in the league. Next year is the newest highest paid person in the league until they start everybody contracts are being renegotiated. You're going to see kind of that big difference. 5 million again. I don't know the books of AEW for
Right.
3 to 5 million, whatever it is, because that's quite a bit of money, especially from what we're getting production out of Okada. That is a lot of money. He's he's eating pretty fat, not doing much, and that's probably mean for me to say, but that's just the reality. But I'm okay with that. Pay these people the way that they should be paid, and then as these contracts go up 3 years down the line, then renegotiate and make more money because they are making a lot of money off of the wrestlers.
And we should be getting a announcement here very, very soon, according to the rumors surrounding their new TV deal. Like very
nice.
soon.
Nice.
Like maybe as early as the end of the weekend or next week.
Okay.
Which is time. So let's really quick look at All Out. I'm excited for it. Like I still think we're gonna go. I think we'll be in the building for that one. That is this Saturday. Rhodesia, unfortunately for you, I don't think there is a 0 hour. Bush on YouTube said, just call it whatever you want, Rhodesia.
Thank you.
He said 0 dark 40 hour pre-show thingamabob. So you cannot talk about 0 hour because I don't know what that match is yet. I'm sure they're going to announce more matches tonight, and we'll know more probably even on Collision, which Collision is being taped on Friday. They're going head-to-head to SmackDown. They're coming off of so that should be interesting. No, but Rhodesia, what are the matches for Saturday so far?
All right, so for what I got so far, we'll just start with the women. We have Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, in a Chicago street fight. So that actually should be a lot of fun. We have what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna go over the 6 that's announced right now, and then y'all just tell me which one you're most looking forward to.
Cool.
Of course, so we have for the championship, we have Adam Page and Swerve in a steel cage match. Which that
for
was
what championship?
What they don't have a championship.
Oh, you're right.
You're gonna find a way to fuck this up. You're gonna find a way to not be able to read when you look at the preview.
Keep going, sis. You got it.
For the championship of honor, when that man came into that man's house and put that T-shirt in that baby's crib.
There you go.
They fought already for that.
Doesn't matter.
And Swerve
this is still
hangman.
It's like Punk is gonna still be going for Drew for taking the bracelet. This is gonna be forever. So again, that's for the championship of honor. All right, next we have MJ. Oh my god. And my whole thing just disappeared. Never mind. I don't even have the card anymore. It just disappeared.
What happened?
God bless you. You weren't doing a great job anyway. That was your worst thingamabob you've ever done, but we still love you.
And I think it was Jinx because we don't have a 0 dark 30 hour show. That is the reason why.
Let me pull this thing up. So you already talked about Swerve and Hangman in a steel cage. That's supposed to be the main event. So Brian and Jack is not main eventing All Out. We got Statlander and Willow in the Chicago street fight. We have MJF and Garcia. We have Mercedes and Sheeta for the TBS championship. I love they're trying to do everything in their power to clean the palate of our mouths of Mercedes and Britt from just a week ago. And then we got Will Ospreay versus Pac. So right now, only 6 matches announced, and 5 of the 6 matches I am super excited for. The 6th match, I'm just excited just to see what they do with only putting Jack Perry in that match because it is in Chicago, and I'm going to assume he's going to get nuclear heat. So,
real quick, man, for $1 trillion, and E, you can answer it too. You can't look. What championship is on the line with Will Ospreay and Pac?
The AEW International Championship.
Yeah, the International Championship.
Okay. All right, cool.
Which think we gonna say the U.S. Championship?
No. I thought y'all was gonna say something else. No $1 trillion. Sorry.
Yeah, got it. So, what's your guys' thoughts, or I guess just excitement level for this show? We know it's kind of hard when they go back to back, but personally, this card is way more intriguing to me than it All In was. Easily.
100%. I'm just
Yep.
not understanding with the Mercedes and Sheeta emotionally. I'm not there yet. But again, like you said, they're trying to wipe the slate clean. So outside of that, which I think that that's still going to be a really great match because I love Sheeta. And again, Mercedes only really had one blemish on her record as far as match qualities. But I'm super excited for every single one of these 6 matches so far. I don't know which one is like my main event. I really can't say because I really think Willow and Statlander can bring a lot to it, a whole lot. And it's a Chicago street fight, but I guess maybe that could be like the caveat where because it's a gimmick match more so than like I guess the steel cage because you're inside of it. But that's probably like my favorite to watch. But that for the Championship of Honor,
Oh shit.
that's the main event there.
I need y'all to stay off the weed. There is no way that you think this meager ass lineup is better than what they put out a couple weeks. This is a terrible line. This is a Dynamite show right here. This ain't even Battle Bill. Let's walk through this again. I'm gonna do it the real way. Okay. Mercedes versus Sheeta. I ain't paying $50 for that.
I give you that one. No, I said that up front. I said that.
Will Ospreay versus Pac. That's going to be a great match, but we can get that on a collision. We sure can. We got Willow and Stat. Okay, I like Willow and I like Chris.
3 months in the making for that one.
That's also done. We got MJF and Daniel Garcia, right? We can 2 months in the making.
That's awesome.
2 months in the making.
That's a great one.
No. It's not that hot. So you mean tell me Daniel Bryan versus Jack Perry, 2 days in the making, as your main event or semi-main event, right?
It should be the opener. Hopefully it's the opener. Treat it like Cody.
Right.
Treat it like Cody. An opener.
You got at least 3 matches on the card that they just haphazardly put together a couple days ago. And then you got 3 other matches that's not even for championships. This ain't a $50 card. This ain't better than what we had a couple weeks ago. Y'all just got finished saying that the other one was a better show was the best show of the weekend. Y'all can't stand
All In was better. Well, All In was better than Bash, but I also think No Mercy was better than Bash too. So far this month, I have No Mercy being the most enjoyable show, I think, of the month. Then I think I got All In, then I got Bash. And I thought, like we talked about it, I thought Bash was good. But then also, too, to be fair,
this is a glorified Dynamite show, and they try and charge people $50 for it. That's what this is. Let's be real.
But to be fair, though, can't you say that about every AEW pay-per-view? Because they put incredible strong matches on Dynamite? Like, that's not really a knock. That's a knock to me in regards to they need to pull back some on Dynamite. I would say, that's then more of a knock on the pay-per-view. Because I remember last year's All Out, and even this year's build to All In was better than last year's All In. I think I may have enjoyed the card better last year than this year's in terms of like the matches before they took place. Mm-hmm. But the build was much better this year. Granted, we got to see what they do on Dynamite. If Tony adds another 4 matches, then we may be like, all right, man, it's another bloated card. But I remember just last year's All Out just being filled with what I always talk about, like house show spectacular type matches. It's like, hey, this is great for a house show, but like, what are we doing? Like, all right, we just had your biggest show of the year last week. Now, granted, this time they have 2 weeks, but this All Out card to me is much better than last year's All Out card.
Let's last thing, because we run along and 2 from the show. You got Swerve and Bryan Danielson. It wasn't my match of the years, especially with that shrugged off finisher that Swerve did. But that match meant something, and it was for something. It's for the World Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker was supposed to be. It was a highly touted, big match that they've been building for some time with 2 of the biggest stars in that division. Will Ospreay versus MJF. the two brightest stars in that company. Those three matches alone, and actually there's another match I'm actually forgetting about. Those three matches alone were much bigger than this thrown together show that they got right now. Much more at stake. Oh, I am forgetting Tony Storm and Mariah May. I'll talk about something that's 6 months in the making. We got, and these are matches for that meant something for something on a big stage in London. There's no way this comes close to that.
And I'd argue it does. And I would take, like, say your 4 matches you took, give me Swerve and Hangman. Give me
Story.
Yep. Give me MJF and Garcia.
Story.
Give me
Wait. MJF, what about Daniel's been gone for like 90 days? They had a nice little fun little back-to-back for a minute. And then the next week, MJF beat him up, took him off TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a story.
And then he came back and he cost MJF the title.
So that's a bigger title than MJF and Will?
I'm talking about in terms of these matches. You named your 4 top matches from All In. When I'm saying these 4 that I was about to name for All Out can be 1 against 1. Swerve and Hangman is going to be ridiculous in a cage. MJF, Garcia, Willow, and Stat. And if you're talking, you want to talk match quality, Ospreay and Pac is going to be ridiculous. So it is close, man. It may not seem close to you. To me, it's close. What'd you say, Rhodesia?
This is my kind of card. Like I said, the only thing that I would fight on is the Mercedes and Sheeta. That would be the only thing that I'm like, okay, whatever. But all these other ones, I feel excited about. I know with Brian, he's gonna put on, especially because his days are numbered now. And then, like you said, Ospreay and Pac, that has the the potential to be, again, match of the year candidate. So I absolutely love this card.
You guys like that big business show too. That makes sense.
Which one?
The big business show with Mercedes debut. Y'all like that one too.
I do wonder when they sign their deal if they pull back from having so many matches on the card. Because like he's talking about this show isn't worth $50. And I think maybe that also could be why Tony loads up pay-per-views, because he knows people are paying $50 for it. Yeah. So instead of having 6-7 matches, give them 10 or 11, make their money go longer. So I do wonder when the pay-per-views go on Max, if we see 3-hour shows at 8 matches, 9 max. No pun intended.
And I don't need to I'm not trying to sit up here and compare sport against sport, but it is just kind of like take a chill pill, because when you look at boxing fights, when you look at Fight Night for MMA, they have like 15 matches. Yeah, we only care about 2 to 3, but we don't say, oh, that this was a bad card, or if we have, the Pacquiao fights, we wouldn't be like, oh, this was a bad night of boxing. And they have 15,
different philosophies.
16.
There's different philosophies of putting cards together. That's all.
But I'm just saying that, like, I am okay with knowing that there's 10 matches on a wrestling show card. It's not my cup of tea. But again, we talked about this before. If I'm going to WrestleMania, because I think you brought this up either last episode or the episode before, if I'm going to WrestleMania and I'm spending $10,000 a seat, as E says,
y'all about to do that too. You already ready for it. You already got the pockets open.
No, I don't. I got a whole other vacations I would have gone if I got 10 grand. But for me, like, it makes sense. It's the bang for your buck. You do want to be able to give them this. But again, because we have so much wrestling, I don't mind watching a pay-per-view that only has 5 matches. I'm okay with it.
But damn, if they're gonna charge $50, I mean, it makes sense that he was like, hey, I'm gonna give you $50 worth of content.
Right.
Like, right. It'd be interesting what TV deal they get, because I don't know how the revenue changed for WWE back in the day when they stopped charging $50 for pay-per-view and it went straight to the network. Like, right, we started getting for $10, we was getting a lot. Like, right, we was saving so much money, you know what I'm saying, with that network fee. So I don't know how that works for Tony Khan, because that's another revenue stream that they're gonna lose. But yeah, this all in show or All Out, whatever it is, I'll get them mixed up. This is like WWF in your house.
Wow.
Or
save
Bash.
your money, folks.
Or Bash. All right, y'all, let's get out of here. It's a wrap. Oh, you know what? Real quick, before we wrap, I do want to shout out some of the folks who told us what their favorite Cash Money songs were.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I do want to do that. Let me look and see. Tyler said that his favorite album was Hood Rich. Still Fly.
Okay, just so you know, my prom, we rode up to that open house to toast. Matt,
what's up,
with
Fresh?
his,
It's our
his
turn, baby.
216 in the back. Later, do boom, man. What? Go ahead.
I think I had 18s back then.
You probably had 18s. All I know, I was like, I had a whole city inkster shook. That car was like, let's go.
Yeah, the speakers used to rattle people's houses. Yeah.
You got a citation because you going through the hood and your bass was so loud.
Brandon said he got 400 Degrees was his shit. So, of course, he talked about We On Fire, Hot Boys, Loud Pipes. He went old school. So, yeah, and he said the Carter, BMJR. Who else? Mikey Explains Everything. 5482 said, I was just listening to Down Bottom yesterday. He said that beat is hard and Juvie's verse was fire, which it was. So, definitely some good Cash Money memories there. Which was cool. All right, y'all, let's get out of here. We already shouted out the socials. Hey, Eric, we are on Instagram, man. Even though you know that, Eric.
He's still getting us. Hey, Eric, you want to run our Instagram?
Somebody needed to take over. We too good to see if we just had somebody to do our social media content, like our videos, we'd be out of here. But it's hard, man. It's hard. Time is hard to come by, but it is all good. 100%. All right, so we out of here. I don't know when we'll be back. We got to actually talk about our schedule because football season coming up. This upcoming Sunday won't work, and we're going to All Out. So we got to figure that out. So we'll be back in the next few days for sure with you guys. We just got to figure out when that will be. That's all I got. We ain't got nothing else. We'll see you on SmackDown this week. Solo is supposed to call out Cody. So we'll see if they set that up for the first SmackDown on USA. That's what I think they're going to do. And I think we get Roman back on that show. And then we're back picking up the Bloodline story. But we'll see if I'm accurate on that. So until then, holla at y'all. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We out.